What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andy and today I'm gonna be doing an update on NIO stock.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video, first of all, I will show you where we are on a price chart and why this asset dropped from the edge of the cliff and it lost about 25 or 22% of its value in a matter of just a couple of sessions. Then I will continue with the fundamental news and I will show you why this is happening right now and what should we expect next. And at the end of this video, I will share my thoughts and my technical analysis and I will show you its potential price action for upcoming weeks. So let's start with the price chart. I made my previous video right here at somewhere at this point and I've told you that this price action to the downside from its swing high at around $16 price point didn't have a proper retracement to the upside, and this movement that broke the golden pocket range, the range of about $10.16 mark, and the round number of $10 was quite indicative because it has a harsh movement to the downside. And if I switch to daily time frame and zoom into the same exact price action, you can see that this volume shows that this candle might be very bullish, because psychology behind this candle was that bears tried to push this price to the downside, but bulls regained the control and push it backwards, and they closed this candle even above the opening range of this at this moment. But unfortunately, the latest movement of NIO, let me show you it's in details, has a much bigger, much higher volume, and this volume is a bearish volume. So my main assumption somewhere at this point was that most likely we should see the movement to the upside, and in worst case scenario we should retest the bottom of this candle at the range of about $9.5. And if this range holds, we should see this movement to the upside that might break its previous swing high at $11.37. So I have to admit I was wrong, and definitely no one has a crystal ball, and that is why everybody might make mistakes, and this was my mistake. And for now, this asset is on the quite low ranges at about $8.55. So what should we expect next from the technical standpoint? I will show you in just several minutes. And for now, let's continue with the fundamental news. So what was the reason of this harsh price action to the downside? Definitely it is their announcement of $1 billion convertible note. And let me show you this news. We are on cnvpost.com and this article was published just yesterday, and it's titled NIO seeks to price $1 billion convertible notes at up to 4.75% coupon, report says. NIO speaks to price its 2029 notes at a coupon rate of 3.5% to 4%, and its 2030 notes at a coupon rate of 4.25% to 4.75%, according to Bloomberg. The electric vehicle maker plans to issue $500 million in aggregate principal amount of convertible senior notes due to 2029 and $500 million in convertible senior notes due to 2030, according to its announcement. Initial purchases will be able to exercise an option within 30 days of the date of issuance of the notes to purchase up to an additional $75 million in aggregate principal amount of the 2029 notes and up to additional $75 million of the 2030 notes. So in general, they plan to have $1.15 billion of convertible senior notes. And I have to say that according to the report, the lead underwriters of the deal are following: Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, and CICC. And NIO plans to use a portion of the net proceeds from the offering of the notes to repurchase certain existing debt securities, and the remainder primarily to further strengthen its balance sheet position for general corporate purposes, the company said. This means potentially we might not see $1 billion dilution of NIO share price. It might be lower, and for some estimations they might dilute only 500 million shares, And it is not the biggest number according to their total market cap. If you take a look right here, their total market cap is $16.283 billion. And this means the dilution might be up to 3%, 3 to 3.5%. It is not the highest level, but in general, this harsh movement to the downside is nothing else but an anticipation of the dilution itself. It is not the beginning of the dilution, and it is just news that was the reason of this harsh movement. So, and let me show you another news that are not so bearish, and I have to say that they are even more bullish. First of all, I want to show you this. NIO's first chip to be for smart cockpit based on 7nm process, report says. And guys, for those of you who don't know, NIO is trying to acquire all the businesses, all the suppliers under one roof, and they intend to own all these suppliers. And for now, they produce their own batteries, they produce their own engines, they produce their own suspension, and the next step is to produce their own chips. And it is very important for company to acquire this type of manufacturing process, because it is high capital intensive on the one hand, and on the other hand it is very high profitable. We can see for now that Nvidia is moving higher and higher, because they have about 70% of gross margin of their products. And this means the more this type of manufacturing processes will be acquired by NIO, the more benefits will be for their fundamentals, and the higher will be their gross margin in general. And guys, don't get me wrong, this news is not the closest catalyst for NIO. This news might be reflected on NIO share price in a matter of next couple of years. And we have to closer look on their closest news, and this news is definitely their deliveries. So, we have the data from insurance registrations of new car makers in China, and here you can see that NIO on the week of September 11th, September 17th registered 3.9 thousand vehicles. And let me quote to this. NIO vehicles saw 3.9 thousand insurance registrations in China last week, up 2.63% from 3.8 thousand in the previous week. Between September the 1st and September 17th, NIO has had that figure at 9.9 thousand vehicles. And this is a very important number. Why? Because of this. NIO previously guided for third quarter deliveries of 55,000 to 57,000 units, meaning it is on track to deliver 15.209 thousand vehicles to 17.209 thousand vehicles in September, considering it delivered 20.462 thousand in July and 19.329 in August. NIO launched the new EC6 on September 15, completing the transition of all NT 1.0 based models to the latest NT 2.0 platform. Deliveries of the model began on the night of its launch. And this is the closest news regarding NIO's results. And these results will be reflected in their next earnings report. And if they beat the expectations of 57,000 units, and for now they have all chances to do it, definitely it will be reflected on the NIO share price in the near-term perspective. So, what should we expect next from the technical standpoint? Before we dive deep into analysis, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family. So guys, as I already mentioned, this price action is quite harsh, and from its swing high of $16 to the current range, it lost almost 50% of its value. And I have to say that this movement to the downside doesn't have proper retracement, and this means we might see the next leg that should unload, at least in worst case scenario, this movement from about $11 mark from this previous swing, not swing high, but from this point. And in best case scenario, it should retrace all the way, it should retrace the wave from this top to the bottom. But guys, let me zoom in to hourly time frame, and let me show you its price action in detail with indicators. Right here you can see that let me show you that RSI is at very low levels, but it doesn't form bullish divergence yet. And on the MACD indicator we also have higher momentum on the latest wave compared to the previous one, and this means most likely we have to see one more leg to the downside. I don't want to make a breakdown of this latest wave, but I have to say that if it is the third wave, we have to see some kind of bounce to the upside, then we should see another leg to the downside, and this leg will form potentially the bullish divergence right here and on MACD indicator as well. And then we will be able to see this trend reversal. And you might ask when it might happen. And the answer is quite simple. It might happen next week, as soon as next week. Because next week might be another quite interesting week for NIO, because they will disclose their almost final results for September, and we will know the exact number for their deliveries. And if they beat their expectations, definitely it will be a huge short-term catalyst that will lead to a spike in its price. And this is how we can benefit out of this movement. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with the notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.